Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Leo in August 2021. What is going on, Leo? How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing well. First things first, Leo, happy birthday. It is your season, my season, our season. Welcome to it. Whenever your special day is, whenever your birthday is, July, August, whatever the date, wherever in the world, I hope you have an amazing day. If you are able to celebrate yourself, I highly suggest that you do. Enjoy it. I believe everybody's birthday, whether they're Leo or not, should be celebrated like a national holiday. It's your personal holiday. Take care of yourself, splurge on yourself, pamper yourself, sleep in, overeat, not too much though, you don't want to, create bad habits or harm yourself. If you're lactose intolerant, ease up on the dairy, you know what I mean? But I hope if you were able and if you desired to celebrate yourself, I hope that you had a great time doing so, or you will do so if your birthday is still upcoming, okay? And apologies for the lateness of this video. Ironically, your girl got sick around her birthday, which was 3 days ago by the time of this recording, and I was feeling a little bit better that day, but not 100%, and that's why all of these videos are late, because I was out of commission for about five and a half days here at the beginning of August, so boo dandies on that, but here we are. Alright guys, so if you want anything from me, it's in the description box below, and for you guys, I also have to make up your live. I was supposed to do it on August 7th, again, just recently recovered, finally have energy and stamina to do this, so I'm rescheduling it for August the 14th, which is a Saturday at 7 p.m. So if you can make it, show up here at 7 p.m. Leo, ask me some questions, I will answer it with my decks and my insight, and we're gonna have a good time. Alright guys, let's get into it. First card out is Justice, hey, Ten of Cups, and King of Swords. Alright, so Leo, Justice, major arcana for Libra, could be dealing. Ten of Cups, King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Don't have to be dealing with any sign that I mentioned. Take it all with a grain of salt. On its face, for some of you, this can equal a union or a divorce of significance. In a few of your cases, Leo, some of you are having a jump off. Like you just left a commitment and you're going into a commitment. If not a commitment, you're leaving something of significance, a connection of significance, whether it was fully committed, whether you were dating someone strongly and you were semi-exclusive for like 2 months, 4 months, something like that. And those are arbitrary numbers, by the way. And then something fizzles out and then immediately you take off with someone else, okay? Some of you, it's divorce and you've got someone waiting in the wings to receive you, and it's just like the transition between the two people or situations isn't long. It's not a long wait that you have, for some of you, to get things going in another direction or with another person, okay? Now, I think at the end of the day, Leo, or the bottom line of it, your happiness has been or was or will be at stake. I feel even though there's multiple people on this Ten of Cups card, as they typically are, I do feel for some of you, it's not about your happiness or connection with another person. It's all about with you. And that's priority, or that's incredibly important. You should prioritize it if you don't. That's the feeling, whether or not you take that on board, that's your decision. But it feels like you should consider where your happiness lies. Who is it with? Is it by yourself? That's always an option. Is it with another person? Is it in a different place and time? Things like this. That needs to be considered. Justice, considered, weighed and measured with the scales, yes? And again, I think you ought to make it a priority. Not the only thing that matters, but one of the primary things that matters. Is Leo truly happy? Is Leo truly satisfied? Does Leo feel contented with making this decision versus another decision? Going left or going right? Okay? there is some choose here, or choice to be made, or has been made, or will be made, that I think your emotional contentment needs to be a contributing factor to what you decide, okay? That may or may not sit well with other people or a particular person. King of Swords. I feel this person could be very callous towards you as a friend, a confidant, the person, one of the people you're choosing between, or one of the sides of the situation you're choosing between. I don't know. But I do get the sense that someone could have a lot to say about what you choose for yourself, whether it involves them directly or not. Okay? King of Swords could be, in some of your cases, since Justice is here, and I did say it could be about a union or a divorce, King of Swords could be a lawyer or someone who fights on your behalf or on the other side's behalf, and they are moralizing to you. I do get the sense that this person wants to tell you about yourself, but in a, oh God, with the chair again. But in a very, in a very clinical way or professional way. Like this person wants to, I'm sorry about the chair, wants to take you down a peg or two. You know, I just get this person, I get a sense that for some of you, whoever this is or whatever energy, wherever this energy is coming from, it's intending to teach you a lesson. It's intending to make you feel worse in a situation where maybe you don't need to feel worse, or inject some type of discomfort or second guessing where, you know, there was none before. So this person can be, in some of your cases, not all, quite adversarial to you. If it's not an adversarial energy, it is still this hypercritical energy, but it's coming from a place of tough love. So this could be a friend who supports you, but at the same time thinks what you're doing is crazy. So they might stand in your corner, but their arms are crossed. You understand? They might literally help you, but at the same time tell you why they feel they shouldn't help you, or why they feel you're making a bad decision. You know? And again, tough love is the best way I can describe that. Some of you might not appreciate that. Some of you might not be very receptive or appreciative of that. But that's where this person's head is. That's how they feel. Or that's how they think about the situation or feel about the situation. I will help my dear friend Leo. I'll help my sister or brother Leo. I'll step up and be by their side. But I'm also going to give them a piece of my mind because XYZ reasons. Whatever they say. Now, this is only because of the imagery. It does not have to resonate, clearly, because it's not going to resonate for everybody. And it's not a bad thing. It's improbable. But the imagery here, the outline of these two people, in some of your situations, this is a same-sex relationship, or there's a same-sex partnership, same-gendered partnership, I should say, that is significant here. The outline of those two people, you know, I am not a champion for heteronormativity per se, but I just see those two outlines as being two males. You could interpret it as two females or a male and a female, but I just see two guys. And, you know, as is very typical, although not the norm or not even the rule, often people who are in same gender relationships, they have dogs or cats or pets as opposed to children. So for some of you Leos, you have a long-standing same-gendered relationship that is either coming into union or is breaking apart. That's just to clarify for one or two of you. And that might be significant because some of you, it's like your first time having that. And that's why it's significant, because maybe before now you've never dated as a male, you've never dated or been with another man, but this is your first time. Or whatever it is. It's like, not that you are young in it, but like it's new to you. That the relationship of the energy of the relationship is new. The context or the type of relationship is new. So even if it's not about gender, it could be this person or that you are with or are going to be with is different You've never had relationships like this one before. So it could be interracial, which is great, support, same gendered or different gendered. Maybe it's the opposite story. Maybe you've always been in gay or lesbian relationships and now you're going into a heterosexual relationship. That's new, right? That's possible. BT dubs, okay? Sexuality is fluid. It changes over time in many people. Not everybody, but many. It could be differences of religion, could be differences in age, culture, all different types of things. But I do get this like coming together of not seemingly like parts, if that makes sense. Okay? What you or other people expect to be the union that comes together, or that at some point did come together but might be now separating, that is the significant relationship that I'm talking about. Okay? Leo, I still feel, look at that. And then at the bottom, 2 of Cups. I still feel your love, your happiness, your contentment needs to be center stage, which to any cross watchers is like, ugh, why are you telling a Leo to prioritize themselves even more than what they do? Because, you know, the stereotype, the criticism of Leos, which has some basis in fact, but is not the rule. It's not the rule of thumb. It's not the way it always is. There is sort of this self-centered, egotistic lean that Leos are said to have. And so me saying that rubs somebody the wrong way. You don't need to tell a Leo to care about themselves more than they do. No, I actually do. Because as a Leo, I understand, we give a lot of ourselves to other people. More than other people sometimes recognize or appreciate or whatever. And look at that, the Tower. So I really feel that even if something is splitting apart, you are not bothered, or if you are bothered, the after effect, the aftermath of whatever is severed, whatever is coming apart, is not going to last very long. The fallout of it is not going to last very long. And I meant to flip this over to just put the Tower back, but then I flipped it over and it exposed the 3 of Pentacles. So for some of you, this is a jump off in a third party situation. You know, it's not ideal. I don't recommend to, you know, move from one. I don't recommend you or anybody else to move from the other woman, the other man, to be the primary man, primary woman. I think that's a bad idea. I've done that. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. But some of you might be doing that. And that's okay. You know, that's your story. That's what you choose, or that's what, you know, you think is best for yourself. Go ahead and do that. I just don't recommend. What was I saying before? Oh, like Leo's, yeah, giving to other people. I think that's important. I think like how you feel is the primary factor, or one of the primary factors in what you're deciding to do or how you're deciding to respond and react. I think that's very important right now. I don't know why, but that's what it feels like. All right, so let's get more. I'm not going to clarify anything because I feel you know, if this is your story, you know it's your story. If it's not, you know that too, okay? So let's get more on the situation for Leo. No bottom of the deck this month. We're going to do oracle cards at the end, so that'll be a little bit different. But give me more here for Leo. What else is going on in the situation for Leo in August 2021? Okay, 2 of Swords. All right, that's the choice. Possibly not wanting to make the choice. And it doesn't, you know, to be fair, Leo, because we did have that 3 of Pentacles that I mentioned real quick, and it might be third-party situation. It might not even be your choice. So someone might make a decision that you favor or don't favor, but still, how you feel, what your level of happiness, your level of feeling content or on board with how things are going, that's important. Even if something, we'll get into it. We'll get into it, potentially. We'll get into that. Because that's not for everybody. What I was about to say was not for everybody. So we'll see if it's actually significant death. Alright, so let's see, Two of Swords, the Magician, Death. Yes, it is significant. So what I was going to say was, even if someone, like I said before, some of you are the other man, other woman, you know, in a third party situation, or, you know, someone is dating you and someone else at the same time, or, you know, shortly thereafter, or shortly before you meet them, whatever. The overlap is a little apparent, or excuse me, not a little. The overlap between one relationship and one connection is very apparent because it overlaps with another. If someone ends up Two of Swords, choosing you, choosing your connection, you still have the ability to choose to agree with that decision or to make another decision. Does that make sense? So someone might come to you, Leo, and say, I left him or her. You still have the ability to say, oh, I also, I sign on for that, or I don't. And, you know, what's the risk of that? Well, I left him or her for you. What kind of shit is that? You leave for you. You don't leave for me. You don't make changes in your life for me. You make changes in your life for yourself. And I think, Leo, you might be in a position, you could have a taste of the King of Swords, or borrow a little bit from the King of Swords, but also with the Magician showing up, everybody chooses for themselves. At least there's a way to do it without ego, without conceitedness, without arrogance, without selfishness. There's always a choice that each individual makes, and it's beyond ego. It's beyond self-centeredness. Yes? So this whole I left him or her for you, that's poor phrasing, because that disempowers the person. Or they're trying to, you know, butter you up if they phrase it that way. So whatever their motivation of saying it is, regardless, how you react, you still can make a choice. You still are weighing the options. Your happiness still hangs in the balance. And that's the other thing here. Not a lot of swords energy. 3 swords. Magician covers all of the suits. So this could happen suddenly, like out of the blue, or just when you thought this person wasn't going to change, or you weren't going to change, or the situation wasn't going to change, then quickly it changes. Yes? Death energy, Magician, changeable. What another person chooses for themselves, let me phrase it this way. What another person chooses for themselves on their path, quote unquote, should not influence what you choose to do on your path, whether that is beneficial to that person or not. What they choose to do on their path, they should choose to do whether it is beneficial to you, Leo, or not. We all, quote unquote, should make individual, independent decisions, regardless of how they impact the other person. I don't want to get into a whole thing, because that's a whole different video, and it's more my personal belief than I think is necessarily what other people would agree with. But the influence of other people on what you do and vice versa is just too entangled sometimes. There are times, more often than we recognize, that we are in the driver's seat. We are in the driver's seat. We have the ability to influence our path because it's ours. Excuse me. Some of you Leos, you may have a significant relationship. Like I said, for some, one is ending and another one begins. And the one that was ending, someone may have been driving in the driver's seat on your path. They were the ones making the decisions for you. Right? And if that's the case, then the new situation is a chance for you to rewrite the algorithm, for you to rewrite the programming there, for you to hop over, sit behind the wheel, put them at 1 and 2, or what is it, 1 and 3 o'clock, or whatever that, 1 and 3, 11 and 3 o'clock, excuse me, or whatever the hell it is, right? And begin to drive that vehicle. If you are leaving a significant situation, it doesn't have to be a marriage, doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friendship. We could be talking about how you rewrite and how you do friendship going forward. after a particular turning point, Magician and the Death energy, right? So before, your friends were used to Leo not having much of an opinion, which is rare, but sometimes it happens, or Leo not really being too fussed about something, or Leo tending to decide this way versus the other. Now Leo decides, okay, instead of driving west, I want to drive east or south or whatever. So it's different, and people aren't necessarily used to that. King of Swords, again, the critical energy, might not appreciate it, might want to block you off with the Two of Swords, might want to ignore this change that they observe in you. You know, that's the other thing that I see here with the swords, is how we perceive and how we communicate about what we perceive or express ourselves. So you might have a person who's entirely resistant to you switching it up on them, or you finally saying, you know what, you do you, I do me, and if we meet together, if we intersect, if we overlap with each other, then so be it. But I'm not going to insist, or I'm not going to beg, or I'm not going to insert myself anywhere that I'm not invited. Something like that. And going back to the whole, you know, where I was flipping the cards over here, and we saw the Three of Pentacles, and, you know, for some of you, you've been waiting for a person to choose, and then when they choose you, you don't want it anymore. And you're okay to do that. Some of you, you still want them. And if you still want them, you can make that choice too. Whatever you want, baby. Magician. Whatever you want. I didn't mention Magician, Gemini, Virgo, Death, Scorpio. Could be dealing, don't have to be. So if you choose to align after a person for however long says, hey, Leo, I want you, or I want to be friends, or let's reconnect, blah, 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 you still can choose to say yes or no. Just because they say yes doesn't mean you have to say yes, just because, you know what I mean? So understand that it's your decision. What happens. And the deciding factor, again, for you, Leo, I think, is your happiness. You really need to put that in the middle, in the mix. If not in the middle, put it in the mix. Let it be a part of other things that determine why you do what you do and why you do what you, or why you don't do what you don't do. You understand? Boy. Death energy. Anything in particular there? This is some, for many people involved in this situation. You're energetically tied to several people here. Friends, family, exes, new partners, whatever. Many people are shifting. You're the fifth sign I'm doing, right? So I'm sensing that in the general collective. Many people are shifting. So you might have a network of people. Maybe this is like a connection you have with your soul tribe or something like that, your spiritual community. Maybe things are shifting there. Maybe your beliefs are shifting. Maybe the people that you wish to connect with are shifting. Maybe before, I'm not trying to challenge or be critical of anybody, but let's say it this way. Let's say before, you were very, 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 very fixated on the feminine dynamic or the feminine aspect of the human dualities between masculine and feminine, those polarities, yes? And you were only concerned with divine feminine aspects, feminine dynamics, yes? Or the feminine markings of people and the feminine expression of people, yes? Now you might have, quote-unquote, evolved or changed over, transformed death energy in some way to now having consideration for the masculine dynamic, for the masculine polarity, which to some of your feminine leading friends or your divine feminine friends seems like you're forgetting them or abandoning them, or suddenly you're a turncoat or something like that. It doesn't have to be with specific one person. It can be with a group of people, you understand? So your different priorities, what you think will fulfill you, make you happy, what speaks to your soul, what speaks to your authenticity at this time, might turn off people who you have long-standing bonds with. So I'm feeling like this portal exchange kind of thing. Oh, God. I didn't mention it in the beginning, but it's coming back to me now, and I don't know why. And I've had to mention it to like 2 or 3 signs before you, I saw a visual of an x-ray scan of a chest. So like the lungs of a person, like put up on an x-ray board in a hospital or something. So I saw that. And what was the other thing I saw? These visuals might or might not be significant to you. Damn, I saw something else, but I can't remember it. Damn it. But I definitely saw that. And why do we see those things? Evaluation. Diagnosis. You know, a lot of people are skeeved out by doctors' offices of being checked and running tests and all that kind of stuff. But for me, as much as I can agree with that, I have some I don't want to know in me. The greater portion of me as a person, as Jay, is like, well, I need to know. If I know, then I know what I'm dealing with. You know, versus the unknown. I'd rather know than be stuck in the unknown. Does that make sense? So that could be what's going on here. That could be sort of overlap or overrunning from either a past experience or a connection, or an experience or a connection from the past that's going to resurface. We're going to re-diagnose or re-examine, let's say, re-examine what's going on here. Something like that. All right. There was a reason that popped back out. Maybe some of you are going to the doctor. Maybe some of you are having issues with your lungs or respiratory system. Be careful with that. Or even your heart. So something like that. Take care of yourselves. If you can, if you are able, see a doctor. I recommend it because they're professionals. Hopefully they're good. And, you know, they're not quacks. But, yeah, take care of yourself, Leo. All right? Let's get an oracle message for you guys, and then we're going to wrap up. Oracle message for Leo at this time, August 2021. And that's not the oracle message for August. I'm just invoking the date or the time frame in which I'm recording this, and that it'll be posted to the internet. This story can be resonating from 5 years ago. It could resonate 2 years from now. Who knows? Let's see. Oracle message for Leo, please. And I've had people mention that to me a few times. Like in my analytics, I've seen people go back to like my 2018 videos. God help them. And they're like, oh my God, I saw that video you did in October 2020, or excuse me, 2018, and it really resonated. I'm like, well, that's good. But kudos to you for sitting through it, because my early videos are terrible. Anyway, let's see. Dearest you, let us ask you, are you looking for happiness outside of your everyday, moment-to-moment experience, thinking you will find happiness, quote-unquote, out there someday? So many go chasing it out there. Lots of quotes in this. But it never could be found there. So we want to share a secret that shouldn't be a secret. You are pure joy. What made you is pure joy, and every time you wake up, even when you sleep, you have joy waiting to be expressed inside of you. Joy and happiness and fullness come from doing joy, being joy, knowing it, cultivating it, and lighting it in your heart so you can share it. You must know this when the time comes. You will be fully free, and your joyful being and actions will turn you into a beacon of starlight. Look within and be joyful even for tears and loss, for they mean you have lived, really lived. Jump into it and love every minute. Oof. Leo. So that kind of speaks to what I was sensing. Like, even if you are leaving a destitute, disappointing situation through justice, through King of Swords, severing ties with people that you used to have some type of significant relationship with, and you go solo, or someone says, hey baby, hey Leo, hey friend, I'd like to reconnect, and you say, no, I'm good by myself. As much as that might hurt, as much as that might be disappointing to both you and them, the joy is within. The joy of you that exists within you is the primary focus, or should be. It's innate, as the oracle card says. It's naturally there at every given moment. You can tap into it. You can experience it. And for some Leos, you've been chasing it from an external place. It's not external. It's internal. Okay? So lots of messages here about choosing and whatnot. You do what you must. You must follow your heart. You must follow what you think is your authentic path, what you feel is correct for yourself. Do not let me, do not let him, her, or anybody else influence you to do anything that you don't think serves you, okay? Good luck with it, Leo. Make sure you check out your playlist for your birthday reading. I changed it up as I do every year in Leo season, so there's a new style of birthday video that I did. Check your playlist to check that out. Again, if you have time on August the 14th, this Saturday at 7 p.m., join me live. I'll do some readings for you guys, okay? If you want to get at me for a personal, check in the description box. Leo, I thank you all so much for watching. Oh, please like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys.